Bam! We are back. We are back fighting for the second very exciting Ark of Osiris. Second very exciting Ark of Osiris from High, a top alliance in Kingdom 58. This is the #1 alliance from this server with 2 billion power. 2 billion power. Some of the strongest players in the kingdom are here, and today we will be fighting live in front of you beautiful people and shoutcasted by myself while trying to play it too. That wasn't the plan, but tomorrow you guys will get a much better look at how this is gonna go. This is gonna be the kickoff of a good big project that we're gonna be announcing next week, with a couple of examples of what I want for the future of Ark of Osiris as far as I'm concerned. Hey Headhunter, T-Fox, Pranav, Gabi, KCJPV, welcome back to the stream. This is actually a different VOD. The reason we restarted the stream and took the risk of all of you people leaving is because this is going to be the first VOD of the new project that is all about the Ark of Osiris and the way it should be. The way I see it is there are too many isolated events and nobody really is checking out which alliances are doing what and shoutcasting the event. So the plan is I'm going to be shoutcasting today and tomorrow 2 Ark of Osirises, which I hope you guys join me tomorrow on this time as well with Legends Gaming. And the idea will be for a lot more alliances from the community to participate. The way it'll work is we're gonna have probably like a Google form or something like that, where each alliance will send us a few screenshots of their Ark of Osiris, let us know ahead of time what's going on and who is doing what. And for each Ark of Osiris, we will try to shoutcast different alliances who are doing good throughout time. What we'll do is we'll have multiple content creators being part of this official league, which we will slowly and steadily announce things as it goes. And we'll have VODs for every type of event that we cast from every kind of alliance. And if by any chance you guys end up finding out that 2 of the top alliances are fighting each other that we are tracking, it'll be a special event and it'll be cool. I think it's gonna be dope. We're gonna keep a list of all the alliances that are participating, how they're doing, which of their members did how many points, what's their average point per event, and we're gonna really make it an organized thing where it's an actual like league of Ark of Osirises. So I'm very excited to start it off with our event. It is a bit unfortunate that I'm part of it because then I cannot really shoutcast it properly, but I'll do my best to prioritize the shoutcasting, and I'll do that's the #1 priority, the shoutcasting and the explaining of things that are going on over me being part of the event. So I will be doing here and there things, and I will be trying to get my individual points and stuff like that, but it seems like this is not going to be really as exciting as it should be. Guys, give me one moment. I need to go grab something to drink, or else I won't be able to last a full hour of just blasting a full commentary of a huge event. This is gonna actually be cool because what we want to do is we want this event to be something all the content creators work on together. So the idea, no, not beer this time, we got a bottle of water. The thing is, most of us content creators have our own niche of things that we do, but none of us really have a full family project. Once we have a family project that we're gonna work on, then this little league is something that all the content creators have done together. It'll be super dope, and I think it'll be nice that during the next few Ark of Osirises, you will have every single one of us shoutcasting a different event that is essentially part of this big league that will be ran by the content creators. And hopefully the Rise of Civilizations guys will take note of that and maybe even help us out with a couple of things that I have planned out to make this an even more exciting league. So that's the new project that I announced earlier. And I'm hoping there's going to be a video sometime this week explaining exactly the system to ensure that we have an awesome event set up. And every time we have an Ark of Osiris, we will be tracking it. We will have our MVPs, the guys that made the most points, solo points in an event, and stuff like that. Is China one of the best civilizations for free to play? Has videos Lords Mobile? No, I haven't made Lords Mobile videos in as long as I can think of. Is China one of the best free to play civilizations? I mean, what you're getting here is defense, action point recovery, and building speed. It is great for progressing in the game. So I would say yes. If you're, it's better for the end game toward when you're starting to build the bigger things and you're looking for as much speed as possible. But yeah, this game needs open migration. Have you heard anything the devs about that? I think that the open migration will take some time. I think that first of all, we're gonna have to see how people are doing in KBKs and stuff like that. But that's how things go usually. On this account, it will eventually end up being open migration. This account has Richard maxed out. On the jumper, he's almost there. What is going on in the game right now? So we are 3 minutes away from the Ark of Osiris, which is going to be a crazy cool event. We are paired up with another alliance from some other random kingdom that is much weaker than us. So it's going to be a little bit of a situation. I mean, obviously, it's very hard to beat people that have some guy that is more than 10% of the whole power, plus 1, 2, 3, 4 tier 4s, one almost tier 4 tier 5s, one almost tier 5, a bunch of almost tier 5s, people that are strong as all hell. So it's gonna be very, very, very rough on them. But we're still going to commentate live, shoutcast, and commentate the whole thing right now. And we're going to talk about how maybe if you find yourself in a situation like this one, how can you utilize the little bit you have to at least get some points out of it? Because it will be a very rough fight to actually win. But you can still get an obscene amount of points and a good amount of rewards just from participating. So it's like Baron fight. It kind of is, only it's a 1v1. What they usually do is they pair you up with a random alliance from a random kingdom. 30 people versus 30 people. It's supposed to be closer power differeces than this. It's kind of unfortunate that we got a very, very weak player competitor compared to us. But they might be much better prepared. Sugar Wrecker, I really hope you get to stick around and see how the event works. Because this event is based on points rather than on power. And the points are all about holding buildings for periods of time. If these guys actually have more mobility than us, then it might be a problem for us. Although that once we'll be able to hold something, they won't be able to take it from us. So it will be much tougher. I won't be reading too many questions or comments while the event is going on. But if you guys have questions about things that I say, keep asking them. I will do my best to read and cover things kind of like as naturally as possible, but I won't be replying to much of anything in chat just because I really need to focus on the event and on casting it 30 seconds before it opens up. And we are completely clear and ready to go. We don't have that many setups set, and as a matter of fact, we really aren't ready to go because we didn't set up any pre-made arrangements of troops, which was kind of probably a better idea to get done before we did all this. So I should have, perhaps. I do have a full tier 5, a full march, although I now need to make it even bigger. So Ark of Osiris battle in progress. We can enter, and let's go ahead. We got Kingdom 7 Brotherhood. Brotherhood BRO from Kingdom 7. While we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and go look them up on my phone. Can I do that? By entering the battlegrounds, you're confirming confirm. We are part of the fighters. So hopefully it'll let me in. Oh, that's cancel. This is confirmed. Bam. All of our guys are already here. Wow. Well, a big part of them. This is how these guys work. You guys are going to see a nice amount of people right here. Naz in bottom 20 down this way, and I'm gonna show you guys. You guys can see Zool in top 10 this way, and that's how you're gonna see these guys pretty much communicating through these beautiful markers, and they do a very, very good job at doing that. I hit cancel twice, yes, because I'll talk to you guys about the color scheme in a little bit. So we can see these guys right here are making their way in. I hope I can actually look at their alliance very briefly. I can. They're a 1.5 billion power alliance, and it seems like they do not have tier 5s. I do not see any tier 5s. I do see one tier 5. I do see one tier 5 for sure. I don't know if he's on the battlefield or not. But they for sure are a much more balanced out alliance, as we have a minute and 20 to still set up and figure things out. So now we know exactly who's going where. Low power capture these buildings, so we're gonna be low power because that's who we are. I'm gonna go ahead and fly straight into the sky altar as soon as that becomes available. I'm going straight for the sky altar while these guys end up coming here, and then I'll relocate this way. Laggy stream again. Oh god, internet. Ladies and gentlemen, we are hitting some hard weather on this flight. It seems like things are lagging out a little bit. Like always, we have a little bit of a turbulence just as the event is about to start. So ladies and gentlemen, hold on to your pants. We are all lagging. I know we are all lagging. It is gonna go away. The lag is real, but we are gonna keep pushing. 8 seconds. I'm just gonna go straight into the sky altar and just... That's how it works. Cannot be. It's in preparation. These guys are still in preparation. So we're going to go ahead and fly anywhere. Anywhere we can go fly. Let's fly this way. Send this bad boy right here. 5, go. Make your way. It's hurricane season. I know the internet is just terribly hiccupy. You guys can see the fight has begun. Not that many marches are marching out of the red side. These are primarily small marches full of cavalry trying to do their best to fly around the map and catch as many things as possible. We have 20 in attendance on the other side. As the hurricane of this stream is still going on, I can see that we are slowly recovering. We should be past the hardship. As we see, it's 20 against 29. These guys are sending a lot of marches out. It doesn't seem like they're planning on porting anywhere. One of the biggest mistakes you can make early on in these events is sending a massive amount of troops out early on, leaving you rendered out of teleports because you have so many marches all over the place. Ideally, what you should be doing is what red side is doing, which is send a decent amount of marches, but that's not as substantial as this is. You can see a substantial amount of marches coming out, which means nobody is going to be going anywhere fast on their side. Now I see that there is one march a little bit ahead of me heading this way, so I might not be the first occupant in there. We have also people going all over the place, especially towards the obelisk, as this guy is already scouting our obelisk. Now what we're going to try to do is we're going to try to do a sneak attack, which I really wanted to do early on in the last game. As we pick up the first outpost, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to sneak attack these guys, okay? So I sent our guy marching this way. So now what we're going to do is we're going to wait him up, leave him in here. We will be porting this way with Naz. We'll be joining rallies if we need to, and of course gathering anywhere we got to gather. But at the same time, what will happen is we are going to try to sneak an obelisk out of them, which is something I really wanted to do last time around. This time we'll actually have a chance to get it done. As I see, turbulence is still a little bit of a thing. The internet quality is not the greatest, but it's coming back, guys. Guys, if you guys are seeing well again, smash the like button and leave me like a smiley in the chat so I know you guys are in here. Now here's the deal. We really want to get some points out, so we're gonna wait for this obelisk, and then we're gonna send troops into the sky altar and into the shrine to get those points. We're also gonna send troops gathering, and one of our guys is gonna do the daring challenge. We're going to march around the map and try to take an obelisk. As the event is progressing, these guys already are waiting out on their obelisks. Both obelisks obtained by blue and red team. Red team in a little bit of a lead on the top side as far as obelisk timers, but behind by 20 seconds on their obelisk at the bottom. Will that make any change? Probably not, as the send tier 5 tier 1 calves to obelisk, or wait for TP, sending things into the desert altar. Now, the big thing to understand is that these buildings are going to open up with time. So there's still a little bit of time until we can start getting the sky altar, especially exactly a minute and 20 to go. Now we can see these guys are spreading around a little bit. Let's go look if we can see some extra marches anywhere, anything interesting. So there are marches primarily going for gathering, and it looks like there is a substantial amount of marches going towards the obelisk. Some just going towards the gathering in the area. It doesn't seem like anyone has pushed beyond the first line of buildings on the blue side. On the red side, on the other hand, it seems like there's nobody really anywhere. Just everybody is in the buildings right now, making sure they lock down their obelisks and making sure everything is set up and ready. As we see here, this guy just sending his one troop, chilling right there, waiting for the thing. We have 7 minutes and 40 seconds. 7 minutes and 4. Well, what do you mean it ended? Nothing ended. Absolutely nothing ended. We are here. We are here. Hello, chat. Stream is good. I don't know what you are talking about. As we occupied officially, as we finally occupied officially the outposts. We finally occupied the outposts. We finally occupying the first obelisk. People are porting in. This is where we will be most likely porting in as well. We'll port in on this side. There is a very limited amount of ports, so we don't really want to take too much of them. No more teleports available. So we got stuck in the back, unfortunately, but that's not really surprising that we got stuck in the back. It was probably what was meant to happen anyway. So we're gonna do this. We're gonna send a big boy march with him, and we are actually gonna send, you know what, let's send a full infantry a little bit forward, because I have a feeling we're gonna need this later. So let's get rid of these guys right here, and let's go towards the front area with as much infantry as possible. From there, we'll be able to keep casting and seeing what goes on in the scene, as we have some tier 2s. So full sky altar right there. We're gonna send also, unfortunately, again, the amounts of ports you have are limited, and we just ran out of them. Well, at least I did. At this point, all that there is to do is find yourself a gathering spot that is worth it, and send your troops to buildings and chill, because that's really all we can do to get as many points as possible, as this game is starting to slowly and steadily spread out and take over the altars and stuff like that. You can see there is already a push aggression towards the altar on the bottom, while the altar in here is still being uncontested. I have a feeling that what we'll end up doing is we will send this march this way, and that way we're gonna actually get a little bit more action, as it's further ahead in the on the map, and our guys are actually pushing straight for it. So we're gonna keep that in mind. We're seeing a little bit of aggression from red side. Look at red already pushing up for a altar that is not even on their side. Okay. All you got to do, if you guys are not seeing anything, Everything is running smooth and green, although we hiccuped in the beginning. You guys can see a massive push up by the red team already into the sky altar, which is conquered by the blue team. These guys already seem to be backing off of it, as Ayla made it to the sky altar first and took it out of the blue team's hand. It looks like the blue team is completely giving up on these buildings, as the next big thing should be their Shrine of War and Shrine of Life, which will guarantee that they will not be healing any more troops, pretty much making sure the game is over. Now, the way the point system works is, as of right now, we are at 180 points a minute ahead of them, which means that if we keep at this rate, we should, within the first 30 or so minutes, figure out exactly who is against who and who is going to win and what's going to happen. So you can see the differences are already being built up, as we are double the amount of points per minute against BRO. And obviously there needs to be pointed out that we are 23 against 30. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Now we are going to start sending just any marches to any buildings just for the points, because at this point it is obvious that we are not going to be really caring for what we send anywhere. Quite honestly, I really don't mind. All that matters is the speed and time that it'll take to get there, which I know that there's some ballistas in there and stuff like that, so it slows things down. Let's go ahead and get rid of the ballistas. We can send absolutely anything. Nobody's going to hit these things. Nobody's going to care for these guys. There's a little bit of battles going on the battlefield, which we are going to go look at. We're just sending whatever just to get the points out of the way. You guys can see the obelisk down here is already being contested and pushed by high. These guys are not messing around, as all the cavalries are just obliterating the guys in the obelisk. Taking over this obelisk might potentially be nice for us, because it means that we will get, maybe if we take this obelisk, a couple more ports, which will allow more people to port in a little closer, perhaps. As the 3-minute the time to hold the obelisk begins, we have Zuldark staying in the back, kind of looking for things to kill. And these guys are just looking all over the place for field battle, because at this point, there's absolutely nothing the blue team can do. They are being completely overwhelmed by the amounts of troops of the red team. Now, the red team is doing what it needs to do, which is clear out the map buildings-wise for all the possible points. Unfortunately for blue team, there are too many of these marches, tier 5 cavalries all over the place. As you guys can see, Shingen and Zul taking care of buildings, defending these buildings that slowly and steadily high are taken out. I mean, look at this. These are strictly 1, 2, 3, 4 tier 5 armies pushing into this building. What could this brother Taurus do? Absolutely nothing, as their Shrine of War is taken, as well as the Shrine of Life is on its way to be taken out. And with that, it pretty much destroys, sets their fate in stone. It is pretty much over if it keeps up the way it is. There are 24 members in here now. There are quite a lot of fights going on everywhere, but quite honestly, there's nothing very interesting to be seen, as honestly, what's what? You know, this is nobody anywhere. They can't fight us, really, can they? So as the outposts are filling up, as we, you know, can't do anything about these alliances that are sending a rally onto the obelisk. I do want to see which obelisk they are rallying on, because I really will like to be part of it. I really want to be part of defending whatever this is. Now, does that mean that we need to send someone else up front? We can send someone else up front. Which one is the closest? We'll send Lohar just for the S's and G's to defend this obelisk. They're probably going to attempt one good rally on this obelisk, and then they will call it that. Now, White Rascal and Alex really just decided they want to bring the arc by themselves, which is a lot of good points, individual points. Especially if you crank these out, you can get 3 to 4 of them per event, giving you a substantial amount of points. Now, Alex is just going to pick this up. There's absolutely nobody contesting him here. And by the time he is slowed down by the arc and his defense is down by the arc, it really won't matter, as all he has to do is make it to this beautiful building right here, the Shrine of War, and claim his point. So he has the arc, and now the march has begun back into any of the buildings, as there's absolutely nothing the blue team can do. There's a little bit of fighting going on the obelisk right here, as the blue team is attempting to maintain anything possible. And as you guys can see, it just is not working out. It just is not working out, as there's just a substantial amount of troops, a much more organized alliance fighting against them. And these just like little battles on the ground here are just very basic non-tier 5 battles going on. And we still are seeing a little bit of losses here and there. As we can see, Luffy is having a little bit of a tough time here, as scouts are coming into the desert altar and the outposts and stuff like that. It seems like all these ground open field battles are ending up with the blue team taking the L. Well, Gecko Bro, the first time that arc started. Yep. Exactly. This arc is pretty much over, unfortunately, for these bro guys. It just isn't there. They're not there for all this. We ported so much faster that none of us had even a clue what's going on, and how we got to a point where I am on the way to the obelisk. These guys are rallying now the desert altar, which is where I want to be. I already am in here with Eulgi and our full infantry march, so this is going to be kind of cool. There's absolutely nothing these guys can do at this stage. At this stage, it's pretty much let us take the points and you guys go farm or something, because none of the buildings are able to hold. Shrine of Life just fell, even though there's a substantial amount of troops on the ground. Look at all these troops falling back, as there is nothing in the shrine really holding it. They are very intimidated by the moves we are making, and as you can see, we are making the moves very fast, very efficiently, while carrying the arc. This, ladies and gentlemen, is over for the blue team. I can pretty confidently say it now, based on the point system. You guys can clearly see Shingen and Zul'Dark with an obscene amount of points. Shingen with 15,000 points, as he soloed the crazy altar by himself and did an obscene amount of points. Now, Zul'Dark also with his tier 5s getting a substantial amount of points. These are all of our tier 5s, and well, Turin in between, doing everything they need to do correctly. And as I am marching towards the buildings, I will start cranking up my points just as well. Team Blue actually managed to take out the arc away from our friend, and we're actually gonna push in for the arc. This is a 1 troop, 1 cavalry tier 1 on his way to return the arc. It will be very funny if we actually manage to sneak in an arc. It will be very funny if we actually manage to sneak in an arc. Now the question is, can we sneak this arc in with 1 troop? That's all we need. I think we can actually take this arc all the way to the outpost, and it should be enough. With the one cavalry army, with our 1 cavalry, we are about to give in to get 3,000 beautiful points, get these things done. It was literally dropped right in front of us, and we literally just yoinked with a 1 troop the arc of Osiris, as it was successfully delivered by the 1 tier 1. Can we get some rest in pieces in the chat for Team Blue, as this was just obnoxious. That thing literally fell right in front of me, and that beauty right there will give me a nice amount of points. Although I don't see the amounts of points yet. 1,000 easy points so far. Easy peasy for Team Red. With the 1 cavalry tier 1, we actually managed to carry the arc, and we are gonna try that one more time. We got 7 minutes to go. How long would it take us to march to take this guy? Let's see. So if we take this guy right now, as there's not much to keep commenting on, as unfortunately this is kind of over. If we take this guy and we march him all the way to the arc, how long of a walk do we have to here? Let's see. So we have 1 minute march. Okay, cool. So with a 1 minute march, we can just keep him here for another 6 minutes and then march him here to grab this arc once more. And we're going to try once again with the one troop, with the one tier 1, get that arc back home. All we need is not to get hurt at all. This time around, I see a little bit of competition coming in the arc area as someone is sneaking around. We're also seeing a little bit of action on their obelisk as these guys are holding hard for their obelisk. They're doing everything they can against the ground troops of my fellow alliance mates, whose main priority at this point is to just get their individual points by getting kills. Now, it is very important to point out that the most amount of points you get are actually more for buildings than from ground activity when it comes to alliance points. When it comes to solo points, you can get a substantial amount of points by getting battlefields in the open field. So at this point, my alliance is aware of the fact that we are a huge amount ahead, and it is time for the individuals. As you can see, Shingen just flying through and Terror flying through their scores. You guys can clearly see that this, in terms of points of the alliance, is fairly over. If even they come up and maintain a 50-50 with us, they cannot close the gap any further, which means it is time to get out of the buildings and start fighting. So we're gonna go ahead and hold while this rally is trying to reach this. Now, as if you guys are trying to stop a rally, fighting on the battlefield is not the right thing to do. All of my alliance mates should be closing in to defend the this outpost, which currently has 850,000 troops in it. If this rally succeeds with us in this building, it will be not very fun, but I'm pretty sure that, ooh, they're doing a good amount of damage. We're gonna need some reinforcements in here. If Team Red is planning on holding onto the altar, they're gonna have to be sending in some reinforcements very soon. And unfortunately, it seems like unless they get on this right now, the altar will be lost, which will be a big shame for those of us in here, because it'll be a very heavy loss. However, some of the alliance mates have noticed what's going on and decided to join the altar. It seems like the altar will still fall unless there is a little bit of a miracle, and the altar indeed will fall to the rally. Unfortunately, for the alliance in red, this is a very heavy loss in terms of commander, in terms of troops. Even though everything belongs to red, this one altar is very important and is a very interesting situation to see how many people are on the open field instead of joining in back into the actual altar. This is how Team Blue can get back into the game, by slowly and steadily hitting buildings when our alliance, the Red Alliance, is all about the ground battles. Now, Alex is back here trying to grab that Ark of Osiris. What he doesn't know is that the one tier 1 is on his way here as well. And if he ends up getting it, it will be cool. If not, Alex can get it himself. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. Team Blue is doing exactly what Team Blue should be doing, which is straight up fighting for everything they need. We have been reinforcing these buildings. We have been reinforcing all the buildings. They are trying to get a fast one on us by sending troops into an obelisk that they used to previously own, which we currently ported to. As you can see, more people kept porting forward. Unfortunately, this desert altar, all it is a target for us to attack once more. As you can see, points wise, things got balanced out a little bit, although the 20 points per minute are about to go up as they have an altar, and we lost over 200 points per minute. This is still nowhere near what they need to do in order to be able to successfully win this, right? I don't think they have a chance to win this at this point in time, as it seems that all they have really is the rally in which they hit this, which, if I am looking at it correctly, was more of an attempt to just get them to play rather than push consistently all over the place. Now, in here, do we have troops in here? We do not have troops in here, as a rally is aimed at this area, at the Shrine of Life. Now, the Shrine of Life has someone 2 minutes away from it, so we will be definitely reinforcing it, hoping that the rally hits there as well. The whole point is to hold the buildings, try to get some kills going and stuff like that, as we have one march almost on its way back home, almost there, which was in this altar. As you can see, blue team is doing what they can to just gain as much ground as possible. It is not as easy as it seems, as we have an arc coming up in 2 minutes. Let's go ahead and send the one trooper. Let's send the one trooper, see if the one trooper manages to grab that that Ark of Osiris yet again, although Mr. Shobu is here and wants it too. We're just gonna put our one thing in here. If he takes it, cool. If he doesn't, then we will. As you can see, this was for us just a snack. This was something for them to feel like they have a way to get back into the game, but unfortunately they really have no chance, as the tier 5s are marching in. A lot of different marches are just straight up hitting the altar without even caring about anything, and there is actually no even point to trying to get here. As you can see, these guys are just standing in. Just why come in here, help your altar hold, as these guys in the red team are just slaughtering on a solo level this altar and taking it right back. With the shrine actually taken away from us, we are right here ready to fight for it, and guess what? We will be fighting on the ground to get this bad boy going. Now, I don't understand the reasoning behind a march being outside a building when there is a proper building to defend it. Unfortunately, as this guy decides to do his beautiful open field battle, we will be joining in as well. As he decides to back off, we do our little bit of a fallback ourselves, because there is absolutely no point in fighting these guys in the open field right now, because there are a lot of them coming up. There's a lot of them coming up, guys. So that open field battle is completely pointless unless we wait for the reinforcements coming in the name of Turin and a few other individuals on their way here. I do believe as you can see, the disrespect is starting as people are marching closer and closer. We will be getting into this battle, and you know what? Screw it. Well, I see Turin also took a turn for this way. As we are getting targeted, we're gonna try to pull these guys closer and closer, further away from their own building. If they keep pushing us like they are, what will happen is the reinforcements that are closer to these buildings are actually gonna get pulled away from it. While that happens, we can send one more march into the desert altar very quickly in the name of where is he? Where is he quickly? In the name of, hello, Eulogy and Richard, as everything is very laggy and this is a very weird mixed set of troops. We are getting attacked right here, right now. We are gonna keep falling back, pulling these guys away. The whole point of this is to bait people away from the building where they can relocate themselves back in. The further away they get from their building, the easier it will be for us to now turn on them as a team. So these guys had the great advantage while they were next to the shrine, because they could at any point turn in and hide within their shrine. But now that they got pushed in by just being greedy and following us around, this opens a open field combat where there is a substantial amount of us versus them. And at this point, they are actually making their building much, much weaker by just losing these battles with us. And as I keep falling back, as a matter of fact, what we want to do is charge in. So as you can see, the blue team has actually taken an obelisk away from red team, which is very interesting that it was done with one set of troops with primarily cavalry. They did exactly what we were planning on doing, which is backstab a obelisk. Unfortunately, that did not last long, and that's the reason we gave up on the idea, is exactly that it is not feasible to maintain it long term. Now, the arc is being pulled away by Shobu, which is something we expected, considering I completely left that one guy chilling. So we're gonna go back into an outpost and wait for the next Ark of Osiris to spawn, as massive wars are going on all over the place. We are gonna enjoy the fights on the battleground while trying to take out the shrine coming up. This is going to be a massive team solo event, this shrine coming up right here. It is going to be a complete meltdown of these guys, as a substantial amount of the red team's troops are now on the battlefield, and there are no any type of troops to back up this shrine of life, as they were all run back. So this is just a matter of time until someone shoots the first bullet and goes for this building to take out their only shrine. These guys are also doing their best to try to hold on to an obelisk, which was snuck in by Nazgul, one of our tier 5s in Team Red. And at this point, the war is going on for the shrine. And this is solo attacks. People are getting massively hurt, just like we are about to. Solo attacks on a building full of troops. As slowly and steadily, the troops are being dwindled down by a bunch of tier 4 marches that are taking heavy losses. These are very heavy losses, but nonetheless, the building shall fall. We shall still have troops afterwards to stick within the shrine. And once that's done, we are in the shrine, ready to go. And now is the time where we go and send our guys out for a little bit more action, as really this event is completely over in terms of who wins and loses. So at this point, the real question is, can we get the 10,000 points or not? At this stage, I do not think we are anywhere near that. Possibly we're nowhere near that. And the real question is how you get your individual points from there on. The real answer comes with a lot of movement, a lot of these fights going on. And we are just gonna start abandoning buildings and going for the fights, because quite honestly, this is just unbelievably impressive. The amounts of fighting going on in here, and where are we even as we are falling into the trap of following someone. I don't even know who is fighting who anymore and what's going on in this crazy amount of blues and reds and fights and madness on the battlefield. Everybody is looking for a little bit of extra solo points on the way to victory for this event. Now, the real question is whether Team Red will start deciding to zero cities or not, which is always a possibility. It is not the worst thing you can do, zero a city, especially a city like this guy, which we are about to go into. We are definitely going to send, not you, I want you to stop because you are falling back. And we're gonna send a nice attack on this guy. I have a slight feeling he is pretty hurt, and we are gonna test my theory, as 3 of his marches walked home by themselves. I believe that, come on, I believe that the bro right here, the White Wolf, is not exactly the best candidate, as the red team starts to swarm. And unfortunately, Rise of Civilizations has to break. You should have teleported to an obelisk, Jonah. I wish I could have, but these guys just insta-ported and took all the ports away. There's a limited amount of ports and I didn't catch one. Unfortunately, I did not catch one of the ports. So for me, it's a long walk everywhere. Let's enter back into the arena. Where are we fighting? Oh my goodness. Oh, well, that's not good. Where are we? Parkas right here. Our boy right here is on his way up. And this is just going to be a brutal fight to the very end. On the battlefield, as many of these guys as possible. This is a rally going in. We're going to go... Actually, we're not even going to mess with that rally. With this set of troops, we're going to send this set of troops this way. And these guys are on their way. You have 2 minutes, so that building has to hold for 2 long minutes. Hopefully our alliance got the message that there's a rally coming up in here. As this is not reinforced, well, it is a little bit. It is time for us to go help reinforce this thing. It is insanely reinforced, actually. But still, the rally is fighting it. And the rally has been doing damage. As we have the little bit of set of troops in here. On the way here, at least. Very, very sad looking here. As our other big boy is still marching. Where are you marching to? Hello? How about instead of marching, you battle? You battle out. It is time for us to battle. It's time to duel. As this becomes one of their buildings yet again, and we're a minute and a half out with one more set of marches, we are gonna go help get rid of this Richard, I think. No, we're gonna let that Richard go. This is getting hectic right now. Right now, it's the battlefield of the century. It's who's fighting who. I don't even know who this guy is fighting. I'm fighting someone. So at this point in time, everything is just completely out of control. Unfortunately for Team Blue, it is completely over. It really does not matter what they do. It does not matter how they act. It is now all about the points that are going to be gotten right here. And for that, we're going to have to go pick up these reinforcement troops. And it is time for us to start battling out hard rather than standing still. So we're going to start off by sending everyone kind of to stop. Okay, now that we have everyone in the battlefield just chilling, we're going to send them all to where our friend right here is, which is the altar right there. So we are going to send everyone marching this way. As an outpost pretty close to us gets taken by a random march, which is one of the things that I mentioned that is very popular and should be happening much more frequently than it does. A solo march going around trying to be pesky and make a lot of issues to in small buildings here and there. But quite honestly, that doesn't really mean absolutely anything, as the next Ark of Osiris is about to come out and we are about to snack it once again. We're gonna snack that thing real quick. Let's snack it up, grab it, and dip, as 1 minute remains for the next Ark of Osiris, and we're gonna pick it up and get it back with the 1 troop. So we're gonna have to remember that. Keep an eye on it as our troops are marching towards battle. Now, the battling that's going on is not really that impressive at this stage. We're just chilling. We're gonna recoup all of our troops together. We're gonna get them all in the one place as we slowly sneak in for another Ark of Osiris coming up. Unfortunately, again, blue team don't really have a single chance at this. You can drag their photo where you want them to go, like that. Cool. That makes a lot of sense. Right, so I want you guys here. I want you guys here. Perfect. Now you're 1 tier 1 going for the obelisk, for the Ark of Osiris right now. And as we pick up the Ark, we will be dipping with it. And by dipping with it, I mean run, Forest, run. Yet again, the 1 tier 1, nice little fast marching little set of troops is actually being very, very, very useful. Going straight to the outpost to give us more points. With that being said, we are marching closer and closer towards the target. And we're really going to want to start pushing on their buildings and on their things and just being a nuisance every which way possible. We're going to have to fight this quite a lot harder now to try to get those 10,000 points, as the Ark of Osiris is being led by us back home for one more cha-ching, and we'll probably be able to do it one more time before the event ends. Right now, the red obelisk is being contested up here, and I think this is where we will be marching all of our troops. Unfortunately, that means we're going to have a little bit of a long march for most of them, as they are still a little bit of ways away from here. But hey, if this is where the fight is happening, we got 2 marches already here and 2 more are just going to come in. This is going to be the war of the game. This is pretty much where the points are going to be made, and you got to make sure you keep your eyes on the task. This is where we speed up our troops and just start grinding it out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna send a huge amount of these troops to just fight on the ground, on the battlefield, as more and more of our guys join into the obelisk itself. It will be our task on the battlefield, on the ground, to get the points going. Now, we are nearing with more troops into the battlefield, as this is insane. This battle for the one obelisk is everything, as one of my set of troops gets beaten down. The second one is very much hurting, but it is not stopping us from doing everything we can to just completely destroy these guys' day. As we are marching back with one of our troops, which is absolutely unacceptable, as the fighting is still going on. We shall be fighting, and that's the name of the game at this point. It is to just fight. Fight, fight, fight. I mean, what are you doing? Fight them, son. Fight them. Where is that? Which movie is that from? Let me know in the comments below, as we start zeroing these people out as much as possible. I mean, what else can we do? Just keep hurting them, keep beating them down, and just taking every single building. As the Ark of Osiris was once again taken care of by us, and as these guys port away into their safe zone, it seems like this is pretty much over. We're gonna go help Arsonist here to zero out a couple of buildings, and we're gonna fight this nice pesky little guy who's trying to really get a couple of points on me. But what he'll probably end up taking out this one march, and he has the ability to take out the second one as well, as the second one is not really the most intricate of marches that we have. But at this point, it's all about the solo points, as unfortunately for the event is pretty much over. I don't believe we're gonna get too many points out of this thing, as it seems that my score is lacking a little bit. We will be keeping as well as we can to do whatever we can to get as many of these points as possible. But at this stage, it seems like the points are slowly and steadily finding the ending, as we port in closer, as we have another port available if I so choose to. But quite honestly, it is definitely more than certainly over, and feels bad, man, for these guys, because quite honestly, it's one of those things where it is what it is, right? So Gabriel and Jesse, thank you for subscribing about 10 minutes ago. Welcome to the channel. I apologize for not seeing your subscription. I am just in here fighting these guys, you know what I mean, trying to get those points out while we still can get the points. At this point, it's one of those where we're just fighting to get as many little itty bitty points as our marches keep walking back, getting destroyed, stuff like that. But the one thing we are consistently doing, and consistently doing well, is grabbing these Arks of Osiris as they spawn with our one trooper that has been doing a fantastic job just taking out more and more Arks as we are zeroing out these castles. My last march on the battlefield is zeroing out a castle that eventually decided to dip out of here. And yeah, what else can be done? Just, you know, we gotta keep fighting these guys. There's nothing that we can do but fight these guys until they all slowly and steadily port away from here. That is the name of the game, because once they are zeroed out, they get ported away. And you can see Shingen is doing a big part in making sure these guys are one by one being ported away home, as slowly and steadily, one by one, their cities are being destroyed, plastered. And we keep porting in closer and closer for the final blows, as this game is pretty much over. Well, it's been over for a little while, but the dominance was beyond real. The dominance was beyond real. They got beyond spanked. Spanked is a kind word for what just happened. As they launch a rally on our outpost, and our guys just keep porting in Now it's a matter of zeroing out the guys. The more guys get zeroed out and ported out of here, the more points we get, the better everything is. Nothing really very serious in here. Nothing very complicated. Just a lot of marches, a lot of points, a lot of troops, and one trooper going over and over to get the Ark of Osiris. Now I see Shobu is on his way to get the Ark once again. We are definitely not going to let him crowd our Ark this time around, as we have been consistently taking the Ark. This is our Ark. Shobu, get out of here. Our Ark. No problem, dude. I'm TI Po. Oh, sweet. Welcome. So you're one of the family. So our marches are slowly making their way back home. What we could do is we can still send marches to sit in go kill till you get 10k. That's pretty much what we got to do, right? We got to just keep getting kills, but it doesn't seem like getting kills will be that easy, considering all of these guys are just not caring about porting out anymore. So I'm gonna put guys in buildings, and still I don't have ports left, which is fantastic. I'm gonna send more marches out here and really hope for the best. We are definitely gonna snatch away this from you, my friend. There's nothing you can do about it. It'll be all about who clicks it first, really. But with that being said, what else can we do? We are gonna go ahead and send to this altar more troops, just to have more troops up front. Now that we have a couple of marches available, and it really doesn't matter what troops we send. I really don't care what I'm sending. All I care about is just having the ground troops out there on the ground to ensure that we are ready to slay in case we want to slay. So we're going to send whatever troops. It really doesn't matter at this stage, because tier 1s, tier 2s, what commanders, really doesn't, there's no point in even caring for it, quite honestly. These guys are just all going to stay within their zone and within their area. You can see the farmers still trying to farm, and it's going to be a rough time. They're all cramped back into the early initial area in this battle. Whew. If it wasn't over before, it definitely is over now, as Shobu and I are arguing and fighting to see which one of us is going to get it. They got spanked indeed. What's up? What's up, Spooby? So we kind of like, you know, the standard thing. We got our beautiful 4 new subscribers, our top donors of the stream, and the beer glass filling up as we're doing this first official shoutcast. It was kind of like a blowout altogether. We knew it was going to be a blowout, but now we certainly know that this is how it looks like. Shingen really smacking the points out of the window. And it's just absurd. At this point, we're almost cranking into the 6,000 points. And we're kind of just sitting here with Shobu arguing to see who will get the Ark first, as we have marches walking towards destinations where they can fight, but there is just no more to be fought. 11 minutes left. 11 minutes left total. In this event, we can still grab this Ark of Osiris and pick up some more points. Just sit and get another 1,500 points per building, or whatever it is. 300 points per building, or whatever not, for each building that we babysit. And from there on, we will figure out what else to do, because quite honestly, this Ark of Osiris is everything but done. The question is, which one of us will click their troops on the thing first and will turn on the timer first? That is the big question as we sit here with Shobu fighting for this Ark of Osiris. Can we get it? And clicked. Oh, it is tight. It is a tight one. It is a tight one. Who got it? I wonder if it's gonna be him or me. It's gonna be him or me. It looks like, oh, it looks like he got it. Oh no. Good GG's to Shobu. Way to go. The last Ark is here, and he has got it. So yeah, this is, what else can we do, right? Let's send this poor bastard, let's send him into an altar. Now that, I mean, he's not really going to be useful anywhere else. Let's send him to an altar to get more points. So at this stage, we are looking at the individual score. 15 minutes, 15 points, 150 extra points right here from the 10 minutes coming up. So that's pretty much sealing the deal as far as we are concerned. As you can see, we are at the door fighting for every piece of points that we can get. But it is just like this, just like we thought, a complete overrun where everyone here is looking for individual points at this point. Now, if you're at Team Blue, there's absolutely no reason for you not to be sending troops to fight, primarily because, guys, quite honestly, it really doesn't help you guys or us if you guys are just sitting there. So you might as well be fighting and getting your solo points at the door than not doing anything and just sitting still and not getting anything, unless of course you don't have troops anymore, in which case GG's. So is this game pay to win like Lords? It is less pay to win like Lords. It has pay to win, but F2P can be a lot of fun in this game. So I don't think we will hit the 10,000 mark, but we definitely did the 6, which is fantastic. We definitely hit the 6,000. That's gonna be nice. And now the question is, when is this gonna be over? And the answer is within 8 minutes and 30 seconds, because really there's absolutely nothing left for us to do. In a situation where you're overwhelmed, just like they were, the best thing you can do is what they did, which is rally and take buildings away from us. But they just couldn't hold the amount of insanely strong marches we had compared to theirs. The difference between 26 and 30 people is very big. On top of that, we have 4 or 5 tier 5s against theirs. They're 1. We had a lot more troops. We had a lot more heals. We had a lot more experience. I mean, look at that. What else can be said? I want to keep shoutcasting, but at the same time, I'd rather eat some snacks and watch this thing, because there's nothing to be said. As this outpost becomes a blue outpost, which is hilarious, because now this guy got to actually move a lot more. How is this a blue outpost? What else can we do? There's really nothing we can do, can we? Stick you on the shrine. It really doesn't matter. I don't want you to be up there anyway. Oh, hello. You want to fight me? Come fight me. Even... Oh, he's healing. If he beats me, that'll be pretty funny. He shouldn't, but he could. He still could. This is just as good if he has tier 4s. I'm getting a ton of points from killing his tier 4s. He's killing my tier 2s. He might actually win this because of his healing, but I don't think he has enough healing. Not enough healing. You can only dispatch 1 army. Okay. He did a lot of damage, right? He did a substantial amount of damage. But the difference was, look at his commanders versus mine. Look at these troops versus his. Let's look at the stats really quickly. Oh. So yeah, this is pretty much over. This whole event is pretty much over for this. Hopefully tomorrow's stream will be a lot more interesting than this. Why are you in a shrine? Give me points. As this winds down, what can be said? We leave them the 1 outpost for the S's and G's. The door is full of people looking to fight, none of which are fighting. I mean, some people actually made it all the way in, which is hilarious and shouldn't be a thing. But some people made... Whoa, sorry about that. That's the water bottle falling. It's a big boy water bottle. What can be said beyond a blowout? What can you guys say about this beyond a blowout? I mean, how is Azul in here? I don't even know. That's 246,000 tier 5s. Like, really? Are you actually trying to fight this? So these guys have the blender. They can't even get out. You know, these guys are hungry for the solo points, as I don't even believe we are anywhere near or possible to get to 10k. Look at how many people did get to that 10k, however, with Arsonist very close to the end. We are nowhere near. But then again, we're not the lowest points, so I don't feel that bad. We can actually maybe even take chicken. But other than that, this is... Oh, we got one guy who managed to get out and got yoinked back in. This is pretty much over. There's nothing that can be said that will save these guys. Recall troops, make sure you have no one in the hospital. 10 minutes to go. Yeah. Doesn't really matter, does it? As J-Rock makes a move maybe further ahead. There are some teleports available. Should I teleport? Just for the lulz of it. So I can say I teleported. Let's say I teleported. So let me go here and I can teleport. Whoosh, perfect. Towards the end, we teleport up ahead, which is exactly what we needed because, yeah, nothing really happened. Cool. So we didn't even gather at all this event, like nothing whatsoever, which maybe was a mistake. We had plenty of time to be gathering rather than be babysitting the altars. We have 3 altars and 1 obelisk. We kind of moved this up ahead to perhaps be able to fight, but it became our obelisk faster than I managed to get here, which was very sad. On top of that, we got, as you can see, just obliteration everywhere. Just obliteration every possible way. It is being just destroyed. It's just unbelievable. An unbelievable experience to see these guys in action, doing just all the right things, going for the marks, doing their little reinforce thing, capture, like leading their people really well. This side didn't really need a marker beyond like that, and we just went 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're just chilling. We got everything, all the buildings. We're just fighting for the end. The last few points are getting squeezed out as we speak. Anyone who has any troops left are just sending them out because why the hell not? Throughout the process, we ended up wounding 185,000 troops, which is freaking hilarious. They will insta-heal once this is over, of course. So that's the nice part. There's 4 days worth of healing in here if I were to start healing, but I can't be bothered. Out of the 1 million troops, we lost about 185,000 in wounded. Once there'll be tier 4s and a lot of tier 4s, everything will be different in terms of my points, my fighting, and my ability to do things. But as of right now, they're tier 2s for a reason, and we are staying like that. As the last minute, the final minute of the event winds down, 60 seconds to go. 3 minutes for the next arc, so we will not be seeing it. What else can be said to summarize, to finish up, to wrap this cast out? This was a very one-sided event. It was very clear from the beginning it was going to be a very one-sided event. It's a shame that this is the kind of situation we got into, but that does occasionally happen. Hopefully, anyone will be able to match the amount of power our alliance is pulling out, as we are at 816 million power. I know that alliances like the one Chisco is at around 610 in terms of their top 30 that were available to play. I know a lot of others that were around the 3s and 400s, but nobody around the 8s. So it will be a real challenge. As we can see, one guy managed to actually walk out and pull a lot of troops away from the door with him. This is probably a rally, which it seems like it was. And the Ark of Osiris is officially won. Bam. Now let's take this quick screenshot just so we have it in the records for our awesome, cool league that we're doing. We got a total of 16 million kills against their 5. Look at this, units healed. We barely healed anything compared to them. This was just a complete slaughter. 3 Ark of Osirises were pulled in, including 2 of them that we got in for free. Add to that occupation score and provision score, total kills and all that good stuff. The amounts of teleports used, the amounts of arcs captured were 4 of them, 2 of which I brought in. Occupations, just an absolute slaughter. Our top boy ended up being Zul'Dark, who individually got 84,000 points towards the end because he managed to sneak into that area. He got a ton of kills pretty much for free with his tier 5s just sitting there taking the damage. Now my score, I went up on everything, hit new records except for kills, where I had a much higher rate last time around because we were actually having things to fight. I wasn't just chilling all the time. Average arc score went up, severely woundeds went up just as well, and my occupation score was up just as well. As we quit and get out of the event, we are back into our kingdom with the individual points and the beautiful rewards that we get alongside these awesome, like, look at this. Win percent 76, nice little Ark of Osiris score, setting me up with the number 29 out of 30, which is freaking hilarious. Because towards the end, I almost was the weakest one, but I wasn't. Huzzah. So we're going to claim this. And then we're going to look at the overall, where we were victorious. Champion of Egypt. These guys, just Ark of Osiris score. This guy actually ended up taking the score away from me. He put 8,000 points and I put 7. Bradical occupation score and provision score by D-Boys are our top guys. Zul did everything about killing, wounded heals, and Nazgul healed up pretty much. Lots of teleports, lots of good stuff, more goodies, more targeted ports, resources, gems. Can we say no to this? Absolutely not. So with that being said, we have the individual statistic points and we have the everything else. You can see exactly every solo score, which I'm going to favorite this right now because I'm going to need screenshots for the league later. But you can clearly see the individual scores. Shingen was passed towards the end, and who did we beat? We beat White Rascal by barely, and Chicken Mellow barely managed to beat us by a little bit. So yeah, that was the Ark of Osiris. It was pretty fun. It wasn't that crazy, and at this point is where the VOD for the league will end. And we're going to continue streaming for a little bit longer, as we still have a little bit to do, not on this account, but on the Jumper account. So we're going to go ahead and probably swap to the Jumper. Let's see. Vasil, I rather not. I don't say things I don't know what they mean out loud. Next thing you know, you're telling me to say something else that I have absolutely what it means, and you're telling me, yeah, it's okay, I'm not gonna troll you, which happens. Hey, Killer Alone, we won as well by a lot. It was a slaughterhouse. In our event was a complete slaughterhouse. It was just sad. Whether I was there or not made absolutely no difference, except for the fact that I ended up claiming a bunch of free rewards, which I will obviously enjoy and take. So thank you, Hi, for including me in this awesome event. Now, if you guys excuse me, we're going to go ahead and have to hop. You got your Ark of Osiris points, 4,000 plus points for farming. Nice. That's not bad at all. So let's go ahead and send some gatherers out, because guess what? We are in need of some gathering. We got a lot to keep going on this account, especially because of the event that is going to end later tonight, and we're going to be pushing for number 1. I'm going to make a video about it. Hopefully, it's going to come out sometime this week, in which I'll mention to you guys how I ended up getting to this situation and explaining to you guys a little bit about preparing for events so you guys can maximize the amount of statues and things you get from events. I'm going to get a substantial amount of sculptures within the next couple of days, including, like, right now we got 8. We picked up another few in the event, in an event that just ended. We're going to pick up a few more in this we got Arc, we got another event, and now we are gonna get this one big boy event, which is kind of interesting. This event is one of those things where you can see right now these guys are pushing up a little bit. PC finally like did his like little move to try to go up, putting me down into 5th yet again. Now, obviously, you can see the gap between me and James is 200,000 points. And at this point in time, we are 3 hours away from the event closing. And quite honestly, I am nowhere near caring because I have these 2 ready to go. I can also instantly get these 2 done for another 50,000 points. And if this becomes a real dogfight where we're going to have to actually figure out where to get points out of, I'm sure we have plenty of things we can be upgrading, like the Alliance Center, which will require a decent amount of resources, but it will for sure give us a nice amount of points. So we're going to be pushing through a lot of buildings. We're probably going to end up leveling this up yet again. I'm kind of concerned about buying consistently amounts of Books of Covenant without using those gems for anything else. So it's a little bit of a sketchy one because I really do want to end up spending my gems on events that spending my gems is actually worth it. Like spending like the more the better event or a Wheel of Fortune of some sort. However, yeah, it's pretty much that. And at this point, we are prepping to speed these 2 guys up and potentially get this guy up for a decent amount of points for the amount of resources. We have 50,000 right here. Or we might just bite the bullet and instead of doing these 2, which are smaller scale but better in terms of where I want to end up, get these to 24 and only then get this guy, not this guy, but get this guy to 23 perhaps, or even start this to 23 before. We'll see. It's either going to be these 2, then this one, then these 2, or the other way around, depending on how many points we really need. So this is all going to come down in the last few minutes of the event. What I'm probably going to end up doing is I'm going to have a building. I might just go crazy knowing that I need this gold mine at 25 anyway. I might just go crazy and just start this and line it up so that I speed it up towards the end and just get that extra boost towards the end. It is going to be a very painful and expensive gold mine to level up though. It might be preferable to do this at the end, maybe perhaps get these guys done, then go ahead and get these guys done and have this in the background ready to go. Either this or that based on how many points do I need. Can you show your army? How much production points do you have? What do you mean production points? Like how many resources I produce per hour? I can show you my army. That's not a big of a problem. You guys can see I have a ton of tier 2s and tier 3s waiting to be upgraded in the next mightiest governor that has Saladin or constant. Well, Saladin is going to be the next one out. And that's when all these will become tier 4s. Or at least a big part of them. I'm going to push a substantial amount of them with a lot of resources and speed ups that I have. So that's that. The percentage, where do you see it? In the info? This is where you'd see it. I have a very poor resource gathered balance and even worse resource assisted balance, which is really sad. Where would you see the gathering stats, the production stats? Not these guys, right? You can see based on this, right? You can see where is this the total? No, this is this buildings. Where do you see in the castle? Like here? Research, food production, wood production. So you can see I'm at 45% and 39 on gold. We got food gathering speeds and stuff like that. I've never really bothered with these things before. It's like the production really makes no difference for me. I only have production. The only time I really care for production is when I'm doing the daily quests and I'm just like here towards the end and I don't feel like wasting my time waiting for things. So I know I can definitely go ahead and pop this boost and get myself 5 points right there. Add to that the fact that, I don't know, Richard can take up 500 XP for free, and this will give us another 5 points. That's where we clear out the dailies, get that gold key, get everything. I'm out. Great fight. Let me know when the next one is. Sugar Wrecker is probably going to be in 2 weeks. It's every 2 weeks from now on. You should definitely invest in city production. I really don't mind the city production. I really don't see how it's useful, quite honestly. It's a lot of work for 9,000 wood an hour. You have around 130% for wood. What do you get out of it? And the only way you get it really is through these and through researches, right? Which researches are also something I gotta get going with. But I'm pushing army more than I'm pushing economy until it just 2 mil, or it's 2 mil plus per day. 2 mil plus per day is not that bad actually. Interesting. It's not that good, it's not that bad either. And what levels are all your buildings? I'm assuming you leveled all these buildings up, which I have not done because I quite honestly don't see a reason to spend a single moment of time on these buildings until I have my Academy 25. Once Academy 25 is up, I don't really care about what is building up next. But as long as Academy 25 is not going, is not there, the building queues should be strictly to get there, as far as I'm concerned. And that's why the toughest parts are going to be this guy, which I'm spending on right now, and this guy, which I can still level up one more time for free with the arrows of resistance that I have. And then I'm going to need an event to help me get more arrows. As I have a decent amount of AP, as you can see, we're fully stacked on AP. So we're going to go hunt a little bit of barbarians later on once these guys are back. It's actually a mistake that I sent all these without going hunting because I'm wasting AP. But oh well. So you guys can see I have a ginormous amount of AP saved up, waiting for a good event like the low heart again. You're in Spain for 20% bonus. That makes sense. It makes sense that you're trying to grow as much wood as possible. I still don't think that is as beneficial, but you might be right. It might be something worth taking a look at, being someone who produces a substantial amount of a certain resource a day. If you do 2 million a day guaranteed, and then you gather on top of that, that might be really, really good. You got to take a look at that. I still don't think that because of your building queue priorities that you really should be spending on these unless you really, really need to. You can see like some of these buildings made it to 8 because it's an insta build once I get all the helps, and I can probably now even insta build these as I have more helps than ever. But I don't want to waste builder queues on it as there are more important things to deal with. Now, guys, one of the things that we mentioned we're going to do is we're going to finish up the jumper accounts, event, because the jumper account needs a little bit more, whatchamacallit, barbarians to finish up. So what we're going to do ahead is, you guys are not seeing anything right now. I know, I understand, and I'm so sorry for that. I'm swapping to the jumper for it to be on the main monitor because we're going to focus on the jumper, go get some barbarians done very fast and efficiently, and then from there we are going to figure out what we're doing next as the continuation of this event. Yes, it is black, I know. The good thing is there is a cheap, quick upgrades. I don't know about the quick part, because unless you're really sitting on top of it and leveling it up consistently, it's going to be a pain in the butt. And again, what we're here for is for strictly like making it to those tier 5s. I don't know, you might be completely right. It might be something worth keeping an eye on. Maybe on the free-to-play account, I will focus a little more on the production to see how that affects my growth as a free-to-play player. That's not actually a bad idea at all. As the free-to-play account to push for the production percentage. All right, so we are on the jumper. A little bit of lag in the beginning, which is completely fine. We finished up building the wall, which means it is time to start building the siege. And this siege is not going to stay here for long. We're going to push it up as much as possible. But we have a little bit of building power from that wall got us as far as this. In here, we're only in 76. And you can see some people here actually spent a substantial amount to get number 1 on these events. So that's where I stay away. And we want this for the City Hall 23. Now we'll be, as the amount of troops doesn't matter, the time of healing does, and the time was under an hour, so we healed the whole thing. From the system, we got another rose box, so I am guessing we got, you guys can see the Rider of History that we purchased recently. You guys are seeing a black screen. I am so sorry. I thought I changed it. You guys are completely right. You guys were seeing a black screen. Zeppelin, you're the man. Thank you for reminding me and calling this out, because I completely forgot that I didn't let you guys see again. That's my bad. Anyway, we went on to do the siege, as I mentioned. We have this building building up, doing its thing, getting to castle 16. I have another way to get them up once again on this account, which is really cool. What's our dailies looking like in here? We need 10 more points, and what can we do? We'll do the knowledge, the Tome of Power, and then we'll do one of these Tomes of Knowledge. So let's go ahead and pop these really quickly, very fast. We don't need those. And then let's also open these, because we're gonna go hunt some barbarians, and we want to know how many we get, because this is the end. This is the end of this event, and we're just gonna pop 2 of these because I CBA to go right now. Do the Tomes of Knowledge one, so 1 and 2, and we are done. 100, and then all the goodies from the daily are claimed. Now, this account has 22 hours until its mightiest, until its event, but I won't be participating. I'll be shoutcasting it only. Damn, 22 hours till your fight. Yes, Matthew, we just finished the fight on the big account, and tomorrow we're gonna have the Legends Gaming account, which you guys are really gonna want to be here for it. We're gonna be streaming it live tomorrow again. This is gonna be the VOD for the new League of Osiris that we're building up. We're gonna build it up together with a few other YouTubers, hopefully very, very soon. So tomorrow is going to be another great shoutcast. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel, hit the like button on this stream, and come back tomorrow when you guys get a notification that I'm up and running. At this time, an hour ago, is when the other account started. So you guys are going to want to be here, not at this time. You're going to want to be here an hour and a half earlier. And then you will see one of the craziest, nicest group teams that we'll see. This one's actually much more evened out. This should be a nice fight, as the difference between us is only 2 million power with full 30 people registered. So this is really going to be dope. Oh, I gotcha. I'll have to rewind and watch the fight. Curious to see how high plays. JWM here, player here. Matthew, you won't see much. It was a matchup that had 280 million power difference between them and us, and it was a slaughter. I mean, you might be able to see a few things, but it wasn't enough for you. I don't think it was enough for you to learn something valuable, to be honest with you. As Knight pushed up with some gold with a gold box to keep up with his event, we get here more and more rewards, and this account is gonna have to fight a little bit of barbarians right now, or else, yeah, it was a slaughter, Matthew. Unfortunately, it was a complete slaughter. There's nothing. I don't think there'll be nothing for you to learn. But while we're at it, and I have you here, Matthew, I mentioned that what I want to try to do is I want to do a league, follow an actual league of Ark of Osiris events, get all the big alliances to participate, and by participating, all that has to happen is one of the leaders of the alliance has to send me like screenshots of like when your Ark of Osiris is, and after it, what were the results. And what we'll do is we'll keep a track of all the alliance. It'll be available for anyone who wants to see it, all the alliances, all the track record of how many Ark of Osirises they played, they won, they lost, what's their average points, who's their biggest players and stuff like that in terms of points. And we'll do like an actual league. So I would, for example, if you guys were part of it and you would tell me, listen, ours Ark of Osiris is in 3 hours, then I would figure out a way either for me or any of the other content creators that are part of this to come into JWM with a random small account just to spectate and to shoutcast your event, essentially making a league out of it. So if your guys at JWM want to be part of this, let your leadership know, and if they're down to be part of the league. And we're trying to get Lilith Gaming to kind of participate with us and doing a couple of things in there, but we got to get this going and built up with a nice amount of good alliances. So if you guys want to be part of it, it would be awesome. hit me up on Discord, link in the description, and I'll keep you guys posted on exactly how it's gonna work. I'm working on all the logistics behind it so that eventually we'll have a dope, cool league that is consistently being casted in all the kingdoms, as many kingdoms as possible, as many content creators casting as possible, as many shifts as possible, and that way we actually build a nice little league out of it. Yeah, today was a little bit different because I was part of the event as well as I was shoutcasting it, so it was a little weird. But once I'm not part of the event, it's just strictly looking for things to show on the screen. I think it would be dope if you guys have footage of us fighting in Ark of Osiris and we have footage of you guys fighting. It'll make it like more sporty like. I'm trying to kind of figure out how to make more competition, because we know Ark of Osiris is going to happen every 2 weeks or so. So it would be nice for us to make like a nice competition. And maybe at some point we will get paired up with you guys, or you guys will get paired up with someone else from the league. And then it will be interesting because you guys will have information about each other and stuff like that. So it will make something out of it. And I think it'd be nice, you know, like making a competitive Ark of Osiris type of bracket where there is no bias. It's going to be strictly data. It's going to be, you guys gave us this, that's how you did, this is the stats, these are the people, these are the numbers. And if we can get casting, if I can get to a point where 2 or 3 of us are casting every single slot throughout the event, and that means we are casting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Ark of Osirises to say the least, it would be really, really good. That'd be really nice. You got attacked 10 minutes before Ark started. Oh, buddy boy. Someone in your kingdom is naughty. Someone in your kingdom is trying to abuse it, huh? 2-2-A. What'd you guys end up doing? Are you in the top 200 power score in that kingdom? I don't think I am. Am I? On kingdom 58? I don't think I am. In Kingdom 58, I'm ranked 141. And in Kingdom 197, I'm in 93. Dak and Ozzy fighting for number 1, as both of them have tier 5s now. And you can see LG just dominating the board, with Toxic on his way to tier 5s as well, and Knight well on his way as well. You had to fight and give up the Ark. You lost 90k points to 0. That blows, bro. Definitely be entertaining. Plus, it really lets us see how big alliances fare among each other throughout the kingdoms. That's exactly my point. If we had the ability to showcase you guys who are an insane alliance against another insane alliance on an event where these 2 big alliances participate on the league. So imagine JWM meeting up with, let's say, High, who manage. How many points were you? How much power were your 30 people, Matthew, if I may ask? So we ended up at like 110 million points for 30 people, million power. So if we can showcase 2 guys, 2 alliances that do that and have a crazy fight, we get someone like myself and Chiskel, or myself and Spooby, or Spooby and Chiskel, whichever pair can do it at the time, to do like a double streaming cast where each of them talks about the other side, or each of us talks about the other side, really showcasing to the community the way the big boys fight. That'd be cool. I think we can really make something work. It just needs to be very well organized, and it needs to be very intuitive and easy for you guys, so you guys don't have to do too much. The way I see it right now, and Matthew, let me know if you think this sounds about right. You guys got 993, Jesus. So that's what I'm saying. Can you imagine? Now, the way I see it is we need a few screenshots. The first screenshot we need is this one to know what the pairing up is and how much power and stuff like that. And then the next couple of screenshots are all about you guys paired against Chiskel the first time around when the servers crashed, if you remember correctly. That's crazy. That's really crazy. So I'm saying if we have the ability for you guys to show, for you guys to send that screenshot right there. And then on top of that screenshot, what we send at the end is that image of the victory or loss, which is an easy screenshot. That's 2 screenshots. And from there, we send this image right here with the individual scores that people scored. That is about like 3 or 4 screenshots. So with 5 to 6 screenshots you upload on a Google form, that's all you have to do to be participating in the event. And it'll be 2 forms: the registration forms for us to know when you guys are fighting and in which kingdom, and then the post-event form with the other screenshots. So if Matthew, you are our guy, all you have to do is, as soon as registration is done, you send us this screenshot in the registration form, and then the other ones in the end form. We will do it all automatically, so all the information will be available out there, and analyze things, and slowly and steadily, if we know who is participating in this round, which would be you guys, us, Chiskel, Spooby's Alliance, AB the Beast's Alliance, LG's Alliance. We have all these 8-9 alliances in different time slots. We will assign different casters, and it'll be dope. And then, of course, make VODs available, and we'll have like a VOD archive where you can see all the fights throughout time. It'll be pretty cool. I think that we can make a really good organized league out of it, and involve all the Rise of Civilizations content creators to cast and have parts of the VOD embedded as part of their channels. You're done with the roses finally. Good. Good. I'm nowhere near. Let's go look for these barbarians, or else this will never end. All we need is this last one, this last push against barbarians, this last little effort. I know I didn't send the full march, but doesn't matter. This last little effort. Wow, cool idea. Yeah, I think it'd be dope. I think it'd be really, really cool for all of us, for the community, to see the bigger players making a nice little league out of it. You just took some notes to grab to the screenshot. I'll double check with the boss, but I'm sure he won't object. If that's the case, we will set up a nice, awesome... I will make a video explaining all the logistics once I have it figured out and set up. And we will take some time to make a proper Discord with the bots that will help you get everything done. And it'll be super simple. If any player decides to take their turn and just make sure they register for the league and they submit their results, it's a 5-minute process, and you guys... And we will do like... We can do a cool like recap of all the Ark of Osirises with highlights from each Ark of Osiris, things like that. It'd be really, really cool. We can really take it on to really good places. Does Alliance Resource Centers bring Alliance resources? I think you don't get from the Alliance Resource Points resources for your Alliance, but I'm not entirely sure. That's a great question. Maybe you do get the 1% still. 22, lol, not going to go further, spend 50k AP. Jesus, S. Wow. Yeah, Matthew, of course, we're not looking... Obviously, it'll put a few players, you know, on the pedestal, meaning you'll know who are the stronger players and stuff like that. But again, at some point in time, all this information will come out, so we might as well make it cool and organized. We won 18 against... We won against 18 with 5 players. So our alliance was from K21 and our opponents were from K199. Gee-bus. That's insane. That's crazy. So there's actually one more Ark of Osiris that I could be streaming, but I think it won't happen, as the actual thing is at 3 a.m. my time. And quite honestly, 3 to 4 sounds like a really, really bad... A really, really, really bad... bad attempt. But I'm gonna ask these guys still if they want me to cast it, if they feel like comfortable with me casting it. If they do, I won't mind staying up and doing one more cast, streaming again later tonight for the other event that I can potentially be participating in. But for that, I'm gonna have to keep an eye to talk to a few people here. So we can do that right now, just to know whether or not we feel like waking up at 3 a.m. Guys, if I can wake up, if I can stream one more event today, shoutcast one more event today. Would you guys want me to if it's at 3 a.m.? Listen, if I wake up at 3 a.m. and there's not at least 60 of you in here and a lot of likes on this stream as well as on the next stream, and you know what, even if you guys want to join the beer and help out these buddies with a few super chats, that'd be nice and all. But if I'm going to stay up till 3 a.m., you guys better show up. You guys better show up. Let me ask this other alliance whether they are cool with me casting their attempt at this. I mean, this can either show a lot of good coordination on an alliance or very bad coordination. So I'm not gonna just join an alliance, a different alliance, and just shoutcast their thing if they are, you know, kind of uncomfortable with the position they're in. But I'm gonna ask, because why not? You'll be sleeping by then. I mean, I could do like an Asia cast for the Asian stream, or for the Asian guys watching. It'll be definitely the best possible time, as my marches are walking back, and I just caught that in time. We are still just the last little bit of Love Beacon finish up to do. We got four more barbarians, and this is over. We're going for like medium level barbarians just to get it done quickly and efficiently. And of course, we're still sending out peacekeeping lead commanders with secondary commanders that want to be trained and leveled up. And unfortunately on this account, there's not that many that actually need to be leveled up and trained. So we're just gonna send whatever. I don't really care if he gets there first. If he gets there second, that really doesn't matter. So now let's ask the other alliance if they want me to stream it. So let's go on this other device and on personal. Let's go, and I'm gonna ask the leader. That's what I'm gonna do, because I like their leader. If you guys are confident in your plan, would you, if you guys are confident in the plan, I'm guessing you would want it. I was wondering if you guys are planning on giving a good show during your AOO. If so, can I join for the event to spectate and cast it live? It will be at 3 a.m. my time, so let me know ASAP if you're down. Bam. Message them. Let's see if he messages me back. 6 gold keys. Okay. So, you're crazy. I'll be seeing that. Sounds great. I'll be up till 4 a.m. if you can do that. I'll keep you guys posted. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It'll be a very rough night if that's the decision, but I'm totally down to do it for the stream, for the viewers, for the S's and G's. As I see, 2 marches never even made it to that one guy. So let's go ahead and finish off with the level 20. Double checking really quickly. We send a decent amount of these guys. We're going to send her and we're going to send him in with them. With that being said, this is the week that Yulji is in the field. So we're going to want to make sure we actually take a little bit of eulogies with us. So I'm going to pick up at least 17. We're going to leave it with 10K left in here. Let's see if this helps. Yo, Nathan, what's up, man? So this helps our eulogy in here to grow. We're going to go bam, and he is 4 away. We're definitely going to go pick up 4 more and take that little bit of a risk call, and quote unquote, as I want to have a nice little balance of these guys just in case we get some legendary commanders that are worth picking up. That's 2.5 thousand coins. But hey, when we're 4 away from skilling this guy one more time, looking for this upgrade, which we got rather than this thing right here, everything is good. As we're holding on to a lot of sculptures, we finalize our event in here as well. 100 out of 100 available in 2 hours for us to pick up. I really wonder if these guys will answer my message. How do we make sure? Well, we'll hope for the best. The worst thing that'll happen is we won't cast their event, and that will be that. It's not the end of the world for sure, but I would like to. I would undoubtedly like to be able to highlight these guys because they're a great alliance, and they went through a little bit of hell, but now they're back on their feet, and it is time for the world to know that these guys are back on their feet. And if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. But the most likely outcome is you do not know who I'm talking about, and that is why I want to highlight they are coming back. Cao Cao full cav plus Minamoto secondary, or Minamoto skill tree plus Cao Cao full cavalry. Let's go look at that and explain a little bit which one's better and why. But give me a second as I'm looking on the iPad, which has an iPad. It has an iOS account that I play on because I do want to know the differences as a content creator between Android and iOS. So this account is like a secondary account I kind of mess around with. I've been pushing things on. She's a lot more advanced than I am, as she used to, as the previous person. Well, the person who owns this account and kindly allows me to access it on my Android, on my device, just to see the differences, is kind of MIA. So we're doing this thing. We got the registration approved for their alliance. They have an opponent. Their opponent is pretty close. They mounted up a decent amount of offense, but I really don't want to talk about anything unless they allow me to. So let's talk about your question very quickly and answer it once and for all. So the very basic difference between Cao Cao and Minamoto is only and strictly only the third skill. Now, the thing about it is the third talent tree, Minamoto is focused about skill, about dealing as much damage as possible on his skills, while Cao Cao is more focused on mobility, on moving faster overall. So if you ask me which one should be first, the answer is, what are you trying to do with your troops? Are you trying to make as much damage as possible with your commanders, or are you trying to utilize your troops in a much faster fashion? Usually the answer is Cao Cao first, as you are looking to move as fast as possible on the map. That's pretty much the answer. If you want to do a bit more damage, Jason Lavelle, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate you. Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the beer glass. Come on. Did you already fall in the beer glass? I might have missed you. The 5th subscriber of the night. Thank you again for your subscription. And the thing is, you can also choose to go with the damage, but I don't really know whether one of these guys are gonna have to sacrifice to have its talent trees as more of a as a cavalry commander. In here you get a 50% damage bonus on barbarians against in here, which you get another 50% as well. In here, on the other hand, you get cavalry march speed bonus in attack, while in here march speed bonus in attack. Healing versus damage taken reduction. So in these guys, you really don't care about their skills. What you do care is about the talent tree. I do believe either or will work, but I would recommend having Cao Cao up front and keeping the mobility. Trust me, the mobility will be much better for you long term. Jason Lavelle, you believe you're on the other team? Are you part of Bro? First of all, GG. I mean, you guys did your best. There's absolutely no denying the scales were completely uneven. You're using your Joan of Arc with Pelagius just for Rage Restore. So, again, I don't know. It's not a bad combo. I do not think Joan should be anywhere but Gathering. Was a bit overpowered, but we knew that was going on. Oh, you're the leader of Bro. Jason, welcome. I definitely attempted to cast the event as how would you say it, as respectfully as possible, because again, you guys got caught in a bad situation. We had a ton of very active, very strong, everybody showed up type of thing. So it was just a GG, man. What else can be said, right? Next time, hopefully the pairings will be better and it will be more fun. John, sorry for missing your question earlier. I use Memu Player. This is Memu Player playing Rise of Civilizations. They recently fixed up. What's the best match with Richard other than Martel? So if you're going strictly infantry, then you can. So if you're going strict infantry, you might have a little bit of a problem, because the only other guy that is interesting for you is Constantine. Well, Saladin and Saladin is a cavalry guy, right? So he's not interesting. The only other infantry guy would be Constantine. If you're trying to match him with another legendary, that's all you got. If you're trying to match him with anything that has more infantry, you can go with the Eulogy pretty safely as the leading commander, if you have your Eulogy set up for infantry. And that's pretty much that. If you're trying to smack some cities, if you're trying to hit some flags and stuff like that, you can pair him with either Hannibal or with Julius Caesar type of thing, with a leadership conquering commander. You can either pair him with Mehmed pretty decently, as long as you're fighting cities, you're fighting buildings, but you shouldn't be doing that really. Taking damage taken reduction from a watchtower will be your friend if you're hitting a city with someone like Mehmed or with someone like Julius Caesar. But if you're looking to pair him with an infantry person, you're probably going to be looking for either Constantine when he comes out, Eulogy later on, and there are a couple of other things you really can be doing. It really depends what you're trying to achieve. But as a full infantry, you're going to want to have a second infantry commander with you, 2-2A. Joan is good for mixed troop also. Good buffs. I'm not a big fan of... Listen, I have already said this many times before, and on this account, Joan is still not there yet. I'm not a fan of gatherers in the battlefield. There are too little gatherers anyway, and too much gathering needs to be done. Joan should be dedicated to be a gatherer for you guys and nothing more. And that's pretty much that. You can pair Richard. One of the things you can try to do, which can be a little interesting, is if you have a mixed set of troops and you're not going to send one full infantry. As you just said, it's more likely going to be a full infantry, so you got your answers for full infantry. But in case you try to go mixed, which can be interesting, you could potentially place them with a Julius Caesar, which in here seems to have a skill level to level up, which we missed up. So once you get to this point and you have a nice amount of troops, then you can potentially keep healing them with your infantry guy, having your leadership conqueror attack up front. Boudica is also nice for crazy healing. That is kind of true. I'm not a big fan again of Boudica when you're trying to make decisions. Boudica is one of those that he can be very useful, but I wouldn't put her as a first place on my books, primarily because I use her as one of these as a peacekeeper, right? So you got to be able to have commanders that are set up in certain talents that are not going to be reset over and over and over. So yeah, that's one of those things. I'm not a... Hold on a second. Let's just answer this. Sure. What about a Eulogy and Richard for infantry? Not a problem. Not a problem at all. See, if you ask me, I would have my view on him is that Richard should be on the wall. His talents are in here. He's an infantry guy because I'm using him for attack, but he is going to end up hitting the wall, and I'm going to end up resetting him going here once either my Martel or my Eulogy are leveled up enough to be first commanders. He should never be first commander unless you are like me, where he is very strong compared to all the other commanders you got. So I have him as strictly infantry for now. He's going to become a garrison guy, secondary commander. So now you're looking for a first commander, not for a secondary. For secondary, you lock in Richard. I would not put Boudica as first again with Richard. You want to set up your commanders in a way that you will forever, I guess forever is a bad word, that you will not be exchanging the talents on them all the time yet. One of the things you guys probably never caught up on, or if you did, it's awesome because it's a small mentality thing that most people don't think about. So the reason, I don't know if you guys know it, but they mentioned in an update, they scrapped it at the end, but in one of the updates, they mentioned they were going to do like talent tree things that you can save talent tree layouts, so you can insta swap talent trees with one button, which will cost you a talent tree reset. And the nice thing about it is that from there on, you'll be able to consistently swap, make a couple of builds and swap between talents based on how much you play on certain things. But unless you have that and you gotta start going one by one on the talents, it's gonna be really annoying and frustrating, and you'll get mixed results. So you really don't want to have talents set in a way that you're gonna have to reset them every single time. For that, I have her as a peacekeeper permanently. I have her as a gatherer permanently. I have him as a cavalry. I have him as infantry, and I have him as pretty much nothing because he's not going to be leading anything. So I really haven't even touched his talents points. I have him as a leading commander for barbarian peacekeeping. So you can see right here, we're going to finish setting up his peacekeeping right here, and we're going to start working towards his mobility probably, as he's going to be leading primarily that. Osman as Conqueror. Thoughts? So I would never put Osman as the Conqueror because there are 100 other commanders you can pair him with to put that should be in first, only because they're stronger in their nature because you have them longer. I'll give you a great example. That is, on this specific account, this example is a bad one because it's an account that is relatively young. But this account, which has a much older time clock on it, you can see in here we already have Scipio maxed out. We have Boudica maxed out, and our Osman is nowhere near. And he's nowhere near because he's the newer commander, which we will be spending a good amount of these these sculptures to level up. But even then, when he is maxed out, he still falls short of the abilities you have with someone like Scipio. So if you ask me who you should pair him with to conquer, I would probably place them with someone like Scipio and make a punch bag. That's pretty much what Osman is really, really good for it to sandwich up a punch bag. Sandwiching up a punch bag means that with him in the lead with 10% troop capacity and Osman in second with another 10% troop capacity, you're sending 20% more troops on the battlefield, especially if they're nice and mixed and you have this guy set up on a leadership tree, which this will be set up with the exception of this. Pretty much take all of the tree with the exception of this. You have these two beautiful talents that rely on 3 or more different types of units. So you're going to want to send all your mixed guys with probably someone like Scipio. Or if you're going to go with the legendaries, you have someone like Mehmed, who can be a better conqueror. You have Julius Caesar, who can be a better conqueror. So I really think that you can do a better job as having other conquerors. What do you use Eulogy for? I would use Eulogy as the first commander for a second string infantry only set. So if you're a big boy spender, someone who keeps up with Mightiest Governors or stuff like that, you will have your Charles Martel Richard combo for the a Charles Martel Richard combo for your infantry legendaries, and then from there on you're gonna want to figure out how to pair your Constantine with anything, and the most likely outcome is that Constantine is gonna end up being either a first or a second to Eulogy. At this stage you can use Eulogy for a bunch of other things, including as a secondary to a leading commander as part of a buff for specifically the infantries. But yeah, brother, I'm leaving. I'm gonna go watch some Netflix. Thanks for the stream. Thank you, S, for being here. I appreciate you. Thank you for all your continuous support, man. You have a great rest of your Saturday. Saturday and Netflix is all what's everything life is all about. Netflix and chill. There are a lot of other options. Like you could go with a Eulogy Sun Tzu weird mix where you have like the infantry buffs of both of them to create like a secondary epic infantry march, but I highly doubt you even have enough troops to do that, to be completely honest with you. I think that I will be using Eulogy as part of my main infantry combo, and what will most likely happen is that before Charles gets to a level where he can fight with Richard, Eulogy will. Yes, you two, I'll DM you on Insta post tomorrow. Sweet. As a medium spender, should I go max Minamoto? Should I go for the max Minamoto or bundles? Max Minamoto. Max Minamoto means, well, what bundles are you talking about? So you're talking about these bundles? If you're talking about these bundles right here, super value bundles, then you should be doing the King's Coronations, which I am going to pick up next. It's on my bucket list right here of things that I got to pick up. But what most people end up doing is the best bang for their buck is either City of Hope or primarily City of Hope for the speed ups. But these bundles are really not worth your time. You really want to spend it on getting your first commander maxed out, which is the cheapest one through here. At the end of the day, these guys will also give you a substantial amount of other items that you're going to need, including a lot of arrows of resistance, which you're going to need for your tier 5 journey, a lot of tomes of knowledge and speed ups, a lot of books of covenant, which are super as You'll get some speed ups, some resources, some ports. So really, these are the better ones to be picking up. As part of the things that I need to buy, I need to buy this pack, I need to get this pack, and I need to get this pack. I'm nowhere in a financial place at this point where I can go ahead and drop $170 on a Minamoto yet, but it will happen eventually. And then from there you have these guys, which are also very lucrative, especially this $70 pack, 70 shekel pack, which is $20 pack, to get 1,000 books of Covenant for $20, which is nice. And on top of that, unlock Hannibal. The problem is from there on, you're going to have to level up your VIP really badly to actually get Hannibal to a point where he's useful. Unfortunately, just doing the level 10 to unlock him is nice and all, but that's about the extent of what you can do unless you level up your VIP. You better get... You think I should spend money on this? My Minamoto is 5332. You think I should spend money on him or packs? On Minamoto. You better get sponsored by them too. I am sponsored by Rise of Civilizations, but as part of the sponsorships that these companies do, not necessarily everything is available to you, or you even get things, or it's just getting featured by them in their pages and stuff like that is probably more worth than anything else for us small content creators. So I still do spend money on this game. I got lucky enough to have people like 22A scrolling up right here, and AZD, I think was his name. Yeah, and AZD scrolling up right here, helping out with the packs, and they were the reason we were able to go ahead and pick up a lot of the good stuff of the packs on the big account. I ended up picking up with the rest of the money some packs on the some Valentine's Day sales on this jumper as well. I picked up $15 worth of packs, so that's a good way to get things going. But it's just... So you gotta be spending a substantial amount of money. You gave up on Minamoto, you'll focus on Pelagius and Lancelot. Well, if you have a Minamoto with at least his first skill upgraded to the max, at least you can get some use out of him. He is the cheapest commander you'll end up unlocking in terms of legendaries. He'll be the cheapest one. The reason he seems not cheap is because he actually has a price tag, while the other ones don't. And those other ones are hella mad of expensive. So, with that being said, You shouldn't be giving up on your Minamoto. You might have to put him on a break and save up a little bit. But Patrick, keep going for that Minamoto. He's the cheapest one you'll end up getting as a legendary commander. Well, it is 2 hours into this stream. We have streamed a total of 4.5 hours today. How crazy is that? With a 4.5 hour stream and adding another hour worth of Ark of Osiris coming up very soon. I wonder if... That's nice. And then that crashed. Cool. Perfect. So yeah, I think that we're going to call it off for the day. We did 4 hours worth of streaming. So if you guys like the content, like the stream, smash the like on the stream, smash the like on all the videos every day. I've seen the viewership dropping a little bit, which is kind of sad, but we are going to plow through this low and find a new high sooner rather than later. I hopefully will end up streaming the next event at 3 a.m. if I get the option to. I need these guys to reply to me, and if they don't reply to me, then I have nothing I can do about it. But yeah, I'm gonna go try to get a hold of other people right here, and I think this will be it for now. Did you win? Yes, we did. We won really badly. We won by like a lot of points. We won by a lot of points. I think they didn't even hit 10K. I think they got just destroyed. But Boras, you just caught me leaving after 4 hours today of streaming. We're gonna keep going. Hopefully within the next couple of hours I'll get an answer about the next Ark of Osiris going on by Sons of Chaos, who mounted up a nice little fight and they have a good opponent against them, so perhaps it'll be a nice thing to stream. So if you guys want me to do that, make sure again you're smashing the like on this video, and I will keep you well, here's the deal. You'll get a notification whether you want it or not that I'm streaming. So yeah. Yes, Nathan, go ahead. You just saw a few bits. Yeah, it was a slaughterhouse. It wasn't their fault. It was a bad matching. They did the best they could, and it was cool to see them try. But again, numbers are everything in this game, and unfortunately, our numbers were so much bigger. So do you think new graphic updates are going to come out to the game to make the game smoother? I don't think so. I think that on my Android device, on my Galaxy S8, which is as old as the Galaxy S8 can be, it never lags. It lags on the emulator because it lags on the emulator. It's an emulator, but on the phone, it very rarely lags. So when I have to record a heavy event, I record it on the phone, and showing you guys this here is a little laggier. But did you notice, just like I mentioned, that things are going to work a lot smoother? Did you see this event, how smooth the servers were on an emulator? We rarely lagged. It was a little bit laggy, a little bit slow, but we rarely got stuck. We rarely had any issues clicking on things. So they're improving and making the Ark better, and the reason they're doing that is they are using the Ark of Osiris as a testing grounds for mechanisms they're going to use in KVK. They don't need to tell me this. I don't need anyone to tell me this. I am a developer. I understand what they're doing. Check how the Ark of Osiris event is actually going to get better and better, making things smoother, faster, without lag, without any of those little bugs. And only when they're comfortable enough with that, that's when we'll start seeing some KVK things pop up. And it will be sooner than you guys think. And that's all I can say about that. Anyway, I'm the Gecko. I'm out of here. Thank you guys very, very much for subscribing to the channel, for liking, for all the good stuff. Oh, you're a computer science student. That's cool, Nathan. Yeah, I did that a few years back. Anyway, I'll see you guys hopefully within the next 3 hours for one more Ark of Osiris, if that's what ends up happening, to sum up 5 hours worth of streaming today. But if that doesn't happen, we will definitely be back tomorrow with LG1's fight. We will be live streaming it for the Osiris League, or whatever we want to call it. We haven't called it yet. Thank you guys again for all your continued support. I'll see you guys in the next stream, maybe in 3 hours, and if not tomorrow for sure. Until then, you guys have a great night. Stay safe, stay happy, stay positive. Everything is going to work for the better at the end of the day. If you're positive, the people around you are positive, everything is good. positivity attracts positivity. Keep that in mind. Don't be hating. Always be smiling. Have a great rest of your weekend. Peace.